Hello, this is Live with Mama Coco. Yes, my name is Cora Pantin, and this evening we are blessed to be here on our live with Nickocy Philips and Anselm Richards. Well, before I get into the live today, yesterday we heard some news, say like last night, as a matter of fact, early night, about the passing of one of my new friends, one of my son and him. They starred in the Black Panther movie, and the news pushed me a bit back, thinking about the fragility of life and how when I was much younger, when I was much younger, we used to expect all the people to die. And as I grow older myself, I start to realize something, that death doesn't have any age limit. As long as you are born, it is expected of you as a human being to die. So rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. You alone know what you were experiencing. And for me, as an yes, healthcare giver, I used to work with hospice. And I know for that kind of cancer, it is not an easy road to walk. So peace, my brother, peace, my son, and may the God of all good grace and mercy have compassion and share mercy amongst your mother, or I will say your family. And I wish you peace. I wish peace to everybody, all the people that get to know you and appreciate you and love your work and love you as the human being. I say peace. Peace without and peace within. So, brothers and sisters, welcome to Mama Coco Life and Style. And we have today, as I said before, Nickocy Philips and Anselm Richards. Welcome. We have Nickocy here. We are waiting on Mr. Anselm Richards to show up for the show. So welcome, Nickocy.
Good night, good night. Good night, everyone. Mama Coco, good night.
Good night, Nickocy Philips. How are you? Nice
I
to
am
see
blessed
you.
and highly flavored.
Hey, flavor and favored. You have all,
God,
yes, you have it going for you. And I want to thank God for you this hour. So, welcome back to Live with Mama Coco. You know, it's a pleasure to have you back. You really set a mark, and you set a barrier. When you came first, you did a great job. And you said that you will be back anytime you want me, Mama Coco. I will be back. So welcome back.
thank you so much. I appreciate you. I really, thank you.
So, Nickocy, what is your assessment? But well, before I go to that, let me ask you, well, I know what my show did to you and for you
The
when
show
you
would
came
have
on
done
the
a
show.
lot. The show would have done a lot in regards to exposure on people not knowing where I came from, a little bit of where I came from, or know why I am here doing what I'm doing. It also gave me international exposure because of the international counterparts that would have been overlooking and seeing what I was doing in regards to the youths and the development of the youth and women on a whole and gender. And it shows that what I'm doing has brought this light of Trinidad and Tobago, especially the Caribbean of Tobago, in a more framework that shows that you know democracy is at hand, and anybody who's willing to sacrifice their life for the greater good for the people of Trinidad and Tobago is actually, it doesn't come in packages where you're perfect. It comes in packages where you're blessed and where you have been neglected, and you can go above the neglect and continue to aim for success. And a lot has been going on since the first show. A lot of people have been, say, hi, I saw your Mama Coco little children, see, say, my mommy watching on TV. So it has exposed me a lot, and it continues to expose me, and I do thank you and appreciate you for that.
Well, you are welcome. It's a pleasure for me. That's what
Not a
that's
problem.
what that's what I set out to do at first. So thanks to management and thanks to my daughter, Dr. Duke, and I thank you for going back out there and show the people that your reasons are as strong as your belief. Thank you. So, Nickocy, what is your assessment of the outcome of the recent,
So
and watch the
much.
screen. I want you to watch the screen, stay focused, and turn yourself to
Yeah,
watch
I'm
straight
watching it.
ahead, where you can, yeah, where people can see you and watch you, and to give the impact for why you are here today. Peace. Yes. Firstly, I want to thank Jehovah God. I don't ever start without a prayer. I want him to recognize us and recognize you and recognize me for doing the job that he has placed on me to do. I am not here for fame nor for fashion, but the passion that I receive to do his will, to bring people so people can get to know them instead of making their own assessment and judgment. And Father God, I want to thank you this evening for your blessing and for your love and for your care. Father, for your charm and the spiritual charisma that you bring into this show. I pray and I thank you, Father, for your will must be done. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
So, Nickocy, what is your assessment of the outcome of the recent general election in Trinidad and Tobago? Emphasis on Tobago.
Well, after the election, I would have met my team as soon as possible. We celebrated victory for, let me see, a week, because for me, it is victory for me, win or lose. And I have celebrated victory because, as I said, my international partners who were observing me, they accepted the work that I've been doing. They also continue that partnership, which I'll give greater emphasis on in the future. Um, we would have assessed ourselves as to see what we would have done. The first time we would have tried, and we would have engaged the public with whatever little resources we had, and we did very well. Um, and outcome of the general elections was within the right of, how to say, I expected it to happen. I expected the outcome to be, because I think people are afraid, and based on what was put out by political parties, you know, it would have, especially the government, the COVID would have given them a strength of winning back the election, because people are afraid that things would have happened different and would have been more exposed. But even that, we also would have looked at the exposure of this election, exposing citizens now to a high risk and a high outreach of how the virus is going now in regards to persons who are now getting a very high amount of cases after the election. I know this would have happened because I would have recklessly seen some of the political parties, having meetings or having street motorcades and walkabouts without their masks. So it was an expectancy, and I hope that everything is within the right frame now. So in regards to Tobago, um, I'm seeing exactly what would have been going through to Tobago in regards to us having one machine at this point in time, in regards to Tobago not being ready. I think a lot more focus is on Trinidad, and Tobago is not ready as yet. To me, that's what I think. So that's my a little in a nutshell of what my emphasis on Tobago being ready for this COVID after the election is about.
So, what effect did the COVID itself have on the elections?
Well, as you can see, the government would have retained their title, so the COVID would have shown that the government played a very good trump card and the trump card worked in their favor. But it's just that they're going to have a very hard task ahead of them in regards to now seeing that the opposition is right neck and neck to them. So I'm hoping that this election or this COVID would give light in regards to this is a pandemic, and we want government and opposition. And I think they should incorporate all other political leaders to come together to see how best they can get Trinidad and Tobago out of this COVID virus.
I think you should, management should put you back on the other side where I am. And when I say that, so you think that the election was called just because they knew that COVID would have hit back, would have make a comeback, and that the people would lose trust in them because they had a very powerful like a history then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Trinidad and
I think.
Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago is number one. Trinidad and Tobago only had few, and they used that to their advantage, knowing that one day after, I think I'm shouting here, one day after the election, or 2 days at least, they're ready to claim and spread the news of the return of COVID. What do you say about that? Explain that to the people.
I believe that if that was their agenda, um, if that was their agenda, well, it is up to the people because the people had a right to choose if they wanted to change or not. And despite of a party throwing in the hat for election in the early stage, especially the government, playing that trump card and would have jeopardized the lives of citizens now as we see it, um, they would have to answer for that, and the citizens will also have to answer for that because I think it is also reckless in the sense that now we're seeing all the cases. I know these cases would have come now.
Do you have anything playing like your phone on, or because I'm
No, I
getting a
think
feed? Is the fan? You have a fan there?
yeah, it was yeah, the breeze. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. So you're hearing it still?
Yet I still hearing it.
Still
I
hearing it.
don't know if management hearing it, but I am hearing it. Well, the audio is fine. They say so. Continue.
Okay. Right.
Continue,
So I
Nickocy.
yes, I believe that people wanted to also continue holding on to the government because they would have had some things in place. And based on other statements that were made by oppositions or other persons, it would have been reckless to switch a government now in this pandemic, knowing that you don't know what they have in place and what measures they have in place, seeing that the opposition and the government were already at risk. So I think they played well. The recklessness, we're now going to answer for that recklessness as we see it. So they have started the legislation, which is the first thing which I have a little um, negative about. But otherwise, I hope I am seeing a good battle coming along, and they have a long way to go. We have 5 years of the government and opposition.
So a battle with the opposition, or a battle with people who need
Yeah,
help and wouldn't
they
be
have a
able to
battle.
get the help.
It's a battle with the opposition, a battle with people who need help. Because as far as I'm seeing right now, there are a lot of persons who have not received the grants yet, and that's a fact. They can come on TV and say what they want to say, but fact is fact. I would have put out a call for persons who have not received any grants, any social assistance from the government. Please inbox me. Single fathers, single mothers, special needs, anybody who have not received it. And I also said to them, anybody who have received any assistance and from the government or anything, they will be disqualified. And I'm not into that nonsense. And so far, I have a book of over 400 persons, 427 persons. I closed it off yesterday, and I'm trying to break it down and assess. I would have gone to social service yesterday to get some more information in regards to these people who would said that they have not gotten assistance, and I'm still awaiting more information. I am scanning them to make sure that some of them have application in from since March. Some of them have not received anything. Some of them received rental assistance grant, but not no food grant, no food cards, and they have children. There's one lady with 8 children. Well, I would have sorted 4 families so far by putting a WhatsApp page on my WhatsApp, asking for assistance for 3 laptops, 2 tablets, for clothes and assistance. And those 4 families, the person doesn't want to be named, but a sponsor reached out and they bought the 3 laptops and the 2 tablets for the families. I also got clothes and assistance and food stuff from other persons as well. So I'm doing my part still. I think that the government should. I keep on saying that this government does not like to work with anybody outside of their realm. And that is our failure as a society, and that will be the failure going forward. Because I'm hearing them on TV today, especially saying, try to reach out with the NGOs. They're going to work with the NGOs to do certain things to, enhance the education. But it's not happening. And even though they pick the NGOs, those are the politically aligned NGOs where they can get to work with. They're not doing the ones that actually doing the work like my NGO or other NGOs. They're not going to be picking that. They're going to be picking persons who they feel that could feed off of them.
This is a strong, strong claim. And I have heard it from people personally. I am not an NGO, and a lot of people, they decided what they want, and what they wanted, they voted for it. And I will not be the one to be supplying the needs. They will have to make sure that they're getting it
Yeah,
from whomever.
uh, yeah, because somebody said to me about 3 days ago, 2 days ago, why are you still helping them people and they didn't vote for you? And you know, I wanted to be a leader and I also wanted to represent. So I told them, I said, for me, I have been helping people since the age of 13 years old to now, and I've seen it. The persons who I've helped, they've been on Facebook slandering me, they've been talking negative things, and you're coming to me for help. But yet I continue to do, because at the end of the day, you have to have a conscience. And if you could come to my office for help and then go on Facebook to slander me, I've done my part. I've done my humane part to continue to be a humanitarian to help people. And if that is your attitude, it shows that this is your mentality as black people, because you're only there to take, and not give anything. So anybody makes, that I said to you, anybody who makes any negative comments towards me or what I'm doing or trying to go forward in life, I will not care, because you didn't vote, you don't have a voice. You continue to criticize without having solutions. You don't even you don't matter. So unless you have something positive to bring to the table or positive to show me to help other people, fine by me. But otherwise, you don't really exist in my book. So I will continue to help people if they come to me negatively. It doesn't matter.
My goodness. So people come in already. People start to ask and to beg. And I think your internet service not too nice right now. And you're
Yeah, it's not. But it's strong though. My internet is actually strong. It's up. It's up to all the
it
bars.
up to all the bars, one, but your lighting.
Mhm. Yeah, the lighting just went dim. I don't know what happened there. So I will, whenever we have a pause, I will try to fix it as much
Well,
as
I
possible.
well, I think we will have a pause because we're not seeing you.
Oh, you not
Mm-hmm.
see me? Okay, good. Yeah. Well, let
We
me
we're
let me go
seeing you,
fix
but
that.
I seen you, but it is in such a
A
shadow,
dark.
dark.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. I will get that fixed as soon as possible.
Well, you while you fix that, we will answer. I will read some of the statements if people start to
Yeah.
make
Just give me two
statements.
seconds. I just need 2 seconds.
Yes. Howdy, David Ramjan. Howdy, thank you for joining. Carlene F. Piper. Good night, dear. How are you? Avanel Hazel, how are you? Good night. She said to her nanny, good night. Clementina Pierre, she's saying, good night, Mama Coco, good night. Sharon Fritz Jackson said, I am on. Happy to have you. Yes. David Ramjan is saying, Mama, blessings and light to you and yours. Thank you so much. Same to you and yours. Yes, Jessica Jones saying grace and peace, Mama Coco, and your guests. Thank you so much. Thank you, Avanel. She sent condolences to Winston. Thank you so much. Rosalind Baines, she's saying good night. Blessings, Rosalind. Carla James saying good night. Everyone, good night, Carla. Sharon Jackson and said, I'm so saddened on here. I could hardly get to read them. They're going so fast. David Ramjani saying, good, whatever it is, wherever you are, everyone. Or he's saying hello to everyone. Yes. Donna Parks Green, hi, how are you? She said good night to everyone. Good night, Donna. Yes. Jamila Jacobson is saying, good evening, Queen Mama Coco. Chad is in a better place. He is an angel. He is serving as our ancestors. Yes. And that was his role in Black Panther. It was all about ancestors. Willon Ivan Nurse, he's saying, hi, Mama Coco. Hi, Willon, how are you doing? Alicia Ramsey saying, good night, Mama Coco. Good night, Alicia. We are here while we wait on the guest to come back and while we wait on Anselm Richards. I know Anselm, he has a lot to contribute. That's why I always invite him and to have him on my show. Yes. Joanne Cummings is saying, good night, Mama Coco, Nickocy Philips, Anselm Richards, and everyone on live streams. Condolences to Chadwick Boseman family and friends. I think we are having Nickocy back. Good night to all who is watching the live, says Willa Nurse. Sharon Fitz Jackson said good night. On live. She on the live. Thank you, Sharon. You came home early from work or you don't work on Saturdays? You work on Sundays, I believe. Yes. Jamila Jacobson is saying, good evening, Queen Mama Coco. Blessings to you and your guests. Yes. Thank you. And the Aunt John, hi, how are you? How is Glamorgan, Tobago? Oh, now we have some light on you. Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Will and Nurse. Will and Ivan Nurse is saying my deepest condolences to the family of Black Panther actor Chadwick Boseman. R.I.P. until we meet again. Yes.
Right.
That is much better, much, much better. There's a light on your left shoulder, though.
Yeah,
But
I had to say that once you see
that,
me and hear me, yeah. I had to change look. Sorry, I had to change location on the last minute because I was
yeah.
supposed to be traveling and I canceled the traveling to where I was going because everything just went haywire. So I just came back to where I am. I'm not staying where I am, so I have to use whatever coming. So once the information process and you can see this face a little, I'm good.
Yeah, we're seeing you better.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. So Nickocy, what are you hoping to see from the, well, we asked it before, from the government, what you're hoping to see in the next, in the iteration of central government? Yeah, important. The iteration of central government in the next 100 days as it pertains to Tobago and Tobago's youth. This is a big one.
Well, right. The iteration of central government. Well, what I think I would like to see is that we have an MP now, and both MPs for Tobago West and Tobago East. I think they should have what they said that they will do for us within those 100 days or within their time in office. Especially what I'm looking at more concerned. Brian.
I didn't hear what they said they will do. Can you repeat what they said they will do? I didn't hear anything
Well,
from them.
well, it was a copy. It was for me, I really didn't take on what they were going to do, but what I meant is that um, they would have said that they would continue work and continue to create employment for job opportunities for the youth and whatever they would have. But what I'm trying to say is that the people voted for them to get work done. And I'm looking for one, the education system, where the education stands right now, because I'm thinking school's supposed to open back the second. They said that they're ready or they're 80% ready. But I'm still concerned about these children going back to school, and some of the persons do not have access to computers or laptop, neither Wi-Fi. And I'm now seeing that the Minister of Education is giving a call out for persons in the private sector when this is something that you should have been doing in your first term or your term last year. The second thing is that I'm also concerned in the healthcare, and I'm hoping that they enhance the healthcare, because just 2 days ago we're now hearing that there's one machine that tests two persons or two COVID tests in 45 minutes or two, maybe 2 hours. Why is it that we have one machine and the machine that doesn't even work that good, and we still have to send to Trinidad for testing? So I'm looking at enhancement in the healthcare system, enhancement in the education system in regards to the youth. I'm also looking at this legislation that is just passed, or in the passing stage. I'm hoping at community education. I'm looking at in regards to those young men on the street who don't listen to Parliament or the government. They will just hear, well, you're going to get charged without wearing the face mask. But I think community education is needed also in that. And we're looking at also covering the grants for Tobago. This granting is a total mess, because I went into the office and asked, and they told me I have to wait until Trinidad call. From since March to then, they haven't called. When they're going to call next 25 years? So I think the grants, making sure that persons get their grants. I'm seeing hoteliers protesting. I'm seeing casino workers and persons still pulling. I think they need to start getting their acts together. And in this next 100 days, it's going to be tough. It's going to be crucial. Um, I think they need to slow down, because they're rushing to too much legislation and not focusing on the greater issues at hand.
You see, why the 100 days was mentioned to you.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be having an election soon. So
Oh,
yes, there's another election.
yes,
So
yes, I
that's why I'm
forgot that.
saying what you expect of them to do. Because, individually, none of these women told us what they would do
They would
within a
do, yes.
hundred days.
That's true. Yeah,
There
that's
is there
true.
isn't there wasn't anything specific coming from the minister in the west or the minister in the east. So we
Mm-hmm.
are asking you, what do
Oh,
you? Because in the next 100 days, we are going to have an election.
nice. Okay. Yeah. I didn't, in my mind went off of that. In the next 100 days, I'm looking to see development in the areas and communities that are broken. These projects that they have unfinished, or the projects especially that they neglected, will come into play. I'm going to see a lot of goodies coming out of them for this 100 days election. I'm going to see a lot of pulling and tugging, especially in regards to leadership and how they go forward. But I'm also looking for development. I'm looking for um, the education, as I said, educating the persons in public, trying to continue with the grants, making sure that everybody's up to date, whatever. So I'm expecting a lot of things to develop on the island of Tobago, but I want the main focus to be developed, which is our health care system and the grants that are supposed to be issued to the person, so that we could able to, because you don't get paid for that one. Let me just say, you don't get paid, right? You haven't seen the grants not working. Let's just say you happen to get a ticket for $1,000. How is that person going to pay that first offense? So I don't see the rush in this legislation. Yes, it's in the rush because it's in negligence of you, the government, for calling an election, for you to say, put on your mask, but yet you have you on TV dancing, or you have a big, when they say 10 people, you have a big collage of people there. So we cannot pay for, I don't think the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago are supposed to be paying for their negligence. But it is what it is, because the people would have spoken, and this is what the people want. So in the next 100 days, for me, I have a lot of work to do, and I am going to table out what is our next step in regards to the 100 days coming for the election in a press conference, and I'm taking it um, slow as it comes.
So do you think I am stretching my leg too far out if I say that in the next 100 days we should see a tribunal held over the millions of dollars that missing? Do you think the assembly should start all over without we getting justice, the people of Tobago getting justice over all the monies that was spent and lost and given, and some people living large? One of the guys, he could still travel all over the world. He and his wife could travel, go on vacation, and his name was called up in the corruption of millions of dollars in Tobago. You think we should have another THA election? I'm asking some question because seeing that you really didn't even remember that that your election is coming up within 100 days of them and the iteration.
Oh no.
Yes, yes. Do you think we should really have an election and our two representatives from Tobago going back down fresh and having Tobago and the House of Assembly in such corruption without we getting to know who received the millions of dollars that was sent away by a bank? Why no one in the bank can come into justice? Why are we holding another election in THA to put who? To run what? Where would we get the money? Central Bank don't have it.
For me, I think nothing is going to come out of it because we're still waiting for persons who do you remember they had the money fiasco with the jazz festival? Up to now that has not been closed. So I don't think anything once you have that administration there, you're going to continue seeing that things are just going to start. Person going to say yes, we're going to launch an investigation, and they know when they go right back into there, if they get a chance to go back there, it's going to be the same thing that is going to happen. So I think the opposition that we have right now, which is the other political parties, they are the ones that are supposed to come together and make that call to speak and try to make that allegation or that issue come to hand. This is the time for the political leaders to come together in Tobago and make sure and hold them accountable, because the people don't understand. In this Tobago House of Assembly, if you do not have a strong opposition, if you do not have, it's the same thing is going to happen in Trinidad. They are going to continue to do and take, do and take, do and take, and nobody's here to stop them because they think that they have all this control. So for me, in the next 100 days, if you don't see that tribunal or anybody's called to justice for that money that was missing, I think we're just going to go back in the same thing. And we are going to go back in the same thing for the next 5 years in Tobago, because the Tobago people, as I said, they just sit down and just take anything that they hand to them. Once it's free, they get it. If they have to work hard for it, they just let it slide.
So Nickocy, should this be a campaign? Should this be a campaign formula? Should everybody out there who going up for an election, should that be on the campaign agenda? Should people be screaming out and marching right now? Marching within the 100 days that Tobago demand auditing of the Tobago House of Assembly? Why are we just keeping elections for assembly and all the things that wrong in the assembly? We are anointing it. We're not supposed to anoint evil.
Well,
Is deliver us. Is deliver us from all evil. For thus is the kingdom. We are a Christian community, mainly in Tobago. Why aren't we behaving as Tobagonians? We shouldn't be doing any election right now. There is no way Tobago should have voted as Trinidad voted. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there because it is annoying to see that we are voting the same way Trinidad votes. We're not supposed to do that in Tobago. Our message is different. What we want is from Trinidad. How can we vote as Trinidad? We can't align and we want. We align because we are in agreement. Tobago is not in agreement with the way Trinidad process things. And we need strong auditing within the 100 days. Or else people should march and boycott the Tobago House of Assembly election. I'm calling for a boycott without audition, without audit?
Audit. For me, the marching, I honestly, I'm strong in regards to the health of our citizens. So marching and protesting at this point in time, it will just be a chaos. What I'm saying is that what I think should be done is that all the political leaders should come together and propose something that we could take towards the, because the question you have to ask really, who will be investigating the THE? Oh,
Oh,
this thing. You don't have an independent body. As much as the TTPS or any other form of independent body says that they're independent, we know that's wrong. That's untruth. So therefore, who will be the one auditing them? Who would be the one to hold them account? We, the political leaders. We, the political leaders, need to get together and sit on it and write down a number of issues, a number of questions that's supposed to be put forward towards them, and to put forward something that we could take to the police commissioner to investigate, because everybody can say investigate, investigate, but when we are not all together, we wouldn't get our voices to be heard. So I think that tribunal, it is needed, and at this point in time it would not happen because who guards the sheriff? The sheriff guarding itself. So we don't really have an independent body outside of what is in the police service or the PCA or anything that could be independently dependent to stand for the citizens.
so can we hire some international auditors or some independent just to get, because people, when I talk, a lot of people just take my words as if it's weird, and to create chaos. We are already chaotic. It is already a chaotic situation where millions of dollars is in somebody's account making interest. And the people of Tobago, we still in need of many things that such money could put in place to use for our young people. Now, they could hire Ernest and Young as an example. They could. I don't see why they shouldn't. But what they do is to regurgitate, realign the old crooks, give them position, send them away to clean up the acts they believe, leaving people on notice and leaving all the issues right there. And then we call an election, and the people who believe that they are satisfied, they put them back into power. This is illegitimate. This is crazy. This is evil. And I'm putting out a warning there. Although a lot of people hear me talk and they see certain things happen, justice is coming. And I want all them Bible taught us to know that if God says something is wrong and he called for change and we refuse to do what he wants, we are going to pay.
Of course. Of course.
The mismanagement of funds and no auditing, that is not a Tobago House of Assembly. This is a Tobago House of ass enablers. And I cannot understand why my educated people cannot see evil and call it evil. Evil should not dominate Tobago. C. John Lewis Baird is saying no checks and balances. Regulation, no checks and balances regulations. So the source, that's the word? So the source of
accountability
in the THA is it's festering. Yeah. Plus it's smelling. The stench is reaching the nostrils of God. We can't do this all the time. We can't wait until when they believe that we should get a hospital. If Scarborough Hospital not functioning, would Roxborough Hospital function?
And let me just say this, because look at it. With the previous health secretary, Dr. Agatha Carrington, she was at the UN with me in regards. She just opened the pink room. These certain things she wanted to do, nursing classes at the hospital, the old hospital. We're not hearing anything. They're neglecting her project. So it's like we continue having a change of people and they're not following through with it. And that was a very good thing, where these nurses could have stayed in Tobago to learn their nursing skills, where this pink room would have been able to work. And it's just like projects, they're launching projects, launching it, and this big fan show and nothing.